Hey guys, our next assignment we are going to be doing an abstract design. You're going to be using oil pastels and color is your main focus, but as far as abstract design, I want you to follow along and take a few notes with me about the things you should think about when beginning an abstract design. Some people kind of freeze up when this is assigned because they don't know where to start. So in your notebooks, which you should have, take it out, and I want to take a few notes with you so that you know how to create something like this out of nothing. Okay? So just write in your notebook wherever it's convenient. These are the things that you should be thinking about. Okay? Line. Okay, so there's lots of different styles of lines. We got wavy, zigzag, straight. You can do, double lines. You can do loopy lines. But, just something as simple as line can give you a lot of detail. Okay? Then you have shape. You can stick with traditional shapes, geometric shapes that we all recognize, or organic shapes where they're just kind of blobs. Okay? All those would work. Again, something to get you started in thinking about. Okay? Going from shape, you can also use some form. So form is a shape that's been turned into something that's three-dimensional. So as far as geometric ones, you can work with cubes. You could turn them into pyramids or cones. You could shade a sphere to make it look three-dimensional, which on here is not going to look that great. Okay? Then you also need to think about, obviously, color. So that's when you're going to think about color schemes, warm versus cool, light versus dark, all those things that we took notes on before. And then space and balance. You don't want one side to be heavier than another. You want to have some empty space, and you want to have some busy areas, and you got to plan how those two work together. So when you are constructing your design and you're finding yourself blanking, look at this list and just start somewhere. Pick something to start with and branch off of that. Okay? So as you can see using that list, here's mine. Okay? I chose a lot of line and then organic shapes and some forms. I try to make some things look sort of three-dimensional and some shading, and then I also have some flat areas where it's just colors blending into each other. But I kept it pretty simple, just kind of line, shape, and form. And then I used a very open color scheme. So there's mine as an example. So when you are starting to come up with a design, we're going to go back to what we always do, thumbnail sketches. Okay, so start with a couple boxes, maybe some vertical, some horizontal. There is no rule about this. And just start with something. Okay, so maybe I'm just going to start with an arc in the corner. And then build off of it. So maybe since I have something curvy here, I'll switch to zigzag just to make it have some contrast. I always like to do double lines. I feel like it helps fill the space better. And I usually like to mimic what I do every now and then, just so there's some repetition in there. Okay? Think about balance. I have a curve here, so maybe I'll do a curve here for the other corner. And then maybe I'll throw some shapes. Overlapping is another good thing to think about. So if something is in front of something or behind something. Okay. So there's one abstract design. All I did was take a couple starter lines and shapes and built off of them, and I had some things go in front, some things go behind. You may like that, you may not like that. Okay? You might want to start with something recognizable and work off of that. So maybe I was starting with like a flower concept. And again, these are thumbnail sketches, so don't worry about if they're like perfectly or the best you can do. And you can maybe work this into a more abstract design. So maybe I will start thickening certain areas. So maybe this will be a thick line, that's thin. Thick line, thin. And you can adjust it as you go. So I was going to go thick, thin. Now the right amount of flower petals, but maybe this is a good concept that I can just build from. And so you took something that was recognizable and you're adding so much to it that it starts to get sort of hidden inside the picture. And you could just carry that all the way out. Maybe I can take that petal now and say it's coming from all directions. Okay? And it could be as simple as that, just one repeating element. And then the way you use color is what makes it abstract. Okay? You could have things cut in half. So you could start with one thing and say, all right, how do I break this into pieces? and have more line details. These are basically big things, but maybe I could work into something that has a lot more detail and a lot more line in it. Okay. It's okay to have areas of dark space, but you do have to think about how this would translate to color. And then always thinking about balance. If you do something really heavy on one side, you probably want to do it on the other. And just start filling in with things, okay? Repetition is always good. So that is a basic demo on how to just begin an abstract design. Something that some people do even if they're really having a hard time. Just do one big scribble, see how it comes out, and then you can say, oh, look at this cool shape, and you can enhance it by making that line thicker. And you can turn what happened to be just a whim into something that looks really neat. And you can do designs inside each space. Okay, so no pressure, just play around until you find something that works. So that is step one for developing this project.